And welcome to part one in our live streaming from scratch series. In this part, which is called Getting Started, we are going to show you how to download and install the Open Broadcaster software on your Mac. We are going to show you how to configure it and how to set up your very first YouTube channel. And finally, how to bring all that together with your very first live stream. You may have noticed the wardrobe change. I'm a big Seattle Seahawks fan, and the Seahawks are in the playoffs, so this shirt doesn't come off until they've won the Super Bowl this year. So hopefully that doesn't distract any football fans out there. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction to this series, we're using a Mac, which is a personal computer, to run the OBS software. You know, there's lots of ways to live stream these days. You can live stream off your phone. You can live stream off your iPad or similar device. What I'm shooting for is an audience that maybe wants to do a little bit more and to use something like the Open Broadcaster software to put together a simple or very sophisticated live stream. So let's get started with downloading your Open Broadcaster software. And welcome again to this series. Okay, there is nothing particularly tricky about installing OBS. You're going to do the normal things you do to install any application. You're going to locate it, you're going to download it, and run the installer. We'll go through part of that right here. All right, the easiest way I found to locate OBS is simply in your Google or your browser. Install OBS, and there's a link that will pop right up that will take you to the OBS website, which is actually called obsproject.com/download. The download is a very simple process. Choose your platform, which hopefully for this video is Mac. It's a fairly easy adaptation to do the PC version as well. And I will probably, if there is demand, do a PC version of the OBS component at a later date. In this case, I am doing it on a Macintosh. So I'll choose the Mac. And then if I scroll down just a little bit, we'll see here that we've got, it says version 26.1. We'll go ahead and download. And in the Chrome browser on a Mac, downloads pretty quickly and easily. When it is done downloading, you'll just click on, or whatever your browser supports, you'll click on that, and you'll get the installer downloaded. I'm going to move it to the center of the screen here. This is the last step I'm going to do. After this, it's just a typical Macintosh install. You'll go through a few prompts. It's very easy. You just simply grab the icon, drag it over to the other side, and let go. And that is all you have to do to get it downloaded and installed on your Macintosh. One thing I should have mentioned as well is that once you have OBS installed, you'll want to move the OBS program icon onto your menu bar for easy access. The easiest way to do that is to open a Finder window, go to your Applications, locate OBS, and then simply drag and drop it into your menu bar. The first time that you launch OBS, it will immediately begin configuration and setup. So the first thing it asks is to let you use the microphone. Just click OK. The next thing is a question related to how you want to optimize for streaming, for recording, or just for virtual cameras. I recommend streaming since that's what this video is about. Go ahead and click that, and at the bottom of the screen, keep going. All right, the next thing that it asks you for is some information about your video. So go ahead and change that setting if you want to, but you can accept the defaults, and those are usually what you're going to want to do. Now, the next thing that it's going to ask you for is a stream key and which service you're using. Now, you don't have your stream key yet, so go ahead and just put anything at all in there, but you do need to put something in there. Then select your service, which hopefully will be YouTube, since that again is what this video is about. Just select the first YouTube in the list, and you'll be ready to proceed. All right, if you've done all that correctly, then OBS will go ahead and configure itself. And the next thing that you'll see is a summary of the configuration that it has created. If there's any problem with the summary, you'll be able to click back and go back through the wizard and give it another try. However, if everything is correct, go ahead and proceed. All right, this is OBS. This is its interface. It's very flexible. You can really change the interface quite a bit in very easy ways. I'm not going to change the interface for the purpose of this video. We're not going to drag any of the sections around or add any or get rid of any. Now you have to have at least one scene, and one has been created for you called scene, and you have to have at least one source for that scene. Then you'll see there's your audio configuration and where you can monitor your audio, transitions, and then a very important control panel over on the right hand side of the screen. We'll use several of these right now. We're going to configure the scene that's there. We're not going to add another one. So under sources, just click the plus, and we're actually going to add, as you can see, we'll add a camera source, video capture device I should say. You can give that whatever name you like. In this case, I just called it our default PC camera. And I know you're not on a PC, you're on a Mac, but we'll just go with it. Go ahead and click OK. Then you can configure your camera. And if you have a simple setup, you'll at least have one camera built in, your FaceTime HD camera. Now, if you've got something else, you've got to go ahead and configure it at this point. All right, it asks if it's okay for OBS to use that camera. We'll click OK, and hey, there I am. I'm right in front of OBS configuring it as we speak. Now you can change the resolution, but I recommend that you use the default preset of the highest resolution that you can, whatever resolution you want. When you click OK, you'll be previewing. And what you want to do is, if it's not full size in the window, drag that red corner of the box so that it is full size in your window. All right, we're moving right along here, and hopefully that's going just as smoothly for you. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use one of the controls to go into the settings. And there are a lot of settings in OBS. There's a lot of general settings, which is what we're looking at right now. For the most part, you shouldn't have to change any of these, at least not for the immediate purposes of this simple setup for your first stream. But we'll look at a couple of the other sections of interest to us here. We're not going to look at stream quite yet, but we'll look at audio, and we'll look at the video in just a second. You usually do not need to change these default settings. However, you'll note that I'll need to change them because my setup's a little more complicated than yours, and you'll see that in just a minute. Or at least it potentially is. I don't really have any way to know what your setup is, but this video is designed for that first phase simple setup. Again, you can change your default video capture settings, and again, you should not have to. You should be able to go ahead and leave them as they're set up. And that probably is pretty much all that we have to set up initially, and we'll move on. Okay, the first thing I noticed here when I'm setting this up is, well, I should have audio. And you can see that there is no audio showing up in the meters here. Now, I was going to cut out this entire section, but I think this troubleshooting that I go through is a little bit of instructive. Aha, I'm a little stumped there. Why don't I have audio? Well, we're going to go through a few of the things that can affect things like whether you have audio. And I think this is instructive because this is the type of thing you will go through with OBS as you proceed in your journey with it. All right, so I hit the gear under the audio section, and I noticed that my microphone is not set up here for any monitoring. The monitoring is turned off. So I'm going to say I want to monitor and I want to hear the output and see the output. When I hit close, we'll see, whoops, I still don't have any audio. All right, what else might we need to look at here? Well, I kind of futz around a little bit here and look at some of the different things that it could be, and just look at some of the menus to remind myself where I might find some settings. And we'll go up into the menu here and take a look at some things that are a little bit off screen for you. But eventually we're going to go back to the settings. And I will meander my way back to the audio settings, which is where we will find a solution. And the solution I'm going to find here is related to the fact that I'm doing this recording not on a simple system like you might be using, again, because that's the nature of this video. And I have many audio inputs that are possible. And my default setting is not the correct setting for my purpose here. So I'm going to go ahead and no, this is not about desktop audio, which is, by the way, the sounds that your applications make on the desktop. It's about the microphone setting. So I'm going to change that to the built-in mic of the Macintosh. And when we go ahead and close this and click OK, we'll see that voila, I do now have meter readings on my microphone because it's configured correctly. Okay, awesome. We're ready to move on to the next component of our configuration. Congratulations, you've downloaded OBS and you've installed it and done a basic setup. Now we'll take a right turn and we're going to go into setting up your YouTube account. Now if you don't have a YouTube account, you should create one obviously, and I strongly suggest that you add premium to YouTube, even if you already have an account. While this does cost a little bit of money, it is well worth it if you're going to do very much live streaming and has a lot of features that live streamers need. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that I am going through the process of creating a brand new channel under YouTube. If you already have a channel, you can still go through this process. Some of the interface screens will look slightly different and you'll have to do a little bit of adapting as you go along. Also, I can only create a brand new channel using an account that doesn't have a channel, as I mentioned. So I'm using my wife's account to do this, as she does not have a channel. And one thing that happened in the process of creating this film is that the video was a little bit blurry, and I didn't realize that until after I had created the initial video and created the initial account. Well, then I was stuck without the ability to back up and create a brand new account. So in watching the video, I think you can follow it, no problem. It's just a little blurry, a little annoying, but it's also a fairly short process, so it shouldn't be any big deal. So let's move ahead with creating your brand new YouTube channel for live streaming. To begin the process of setting up a new channel in YouTube, you will want to be logged into YouTube to the account that you want to use. Now, I am simulating a brand new channel by using my wife's account because she doesn't have any channels. So to get started, choose the user icon in the upper right and then choose Settings in the YouTube menu. That'll take you to a screen that allows you, underneath the user ID, to create a new channel. Now, you've already got channels. This will look different. Be aware of that. So when you click on Create New Channel, you will be prompted with a dialog that asks you for the channel's name. In this case, I'll use Anne's Arts as my wife's new channel since she's really into creating art. Hopefully I'll be able to talk her into actually using this once I've set it up. Then you click on Create. Now the next screen that you go through will be your actual channel screen in YouTube. And when you've got this all set up, this will be a very useful screen. You'll be able to upload videos from here. You'll be able to manage the videos, playlists that you create on your channel, other aspects of your channel. You'll have a lot of different functionality that will become useful to you, including channel customization and managing the videos once you're all set up. But for right now, what we actually want to do is we want to go to YouTube Studio. So again, use the icon in the upper right and choose YouTube Studio. Now, once you go here, you'll instantly see a Learn More button, which I clicked. And the video that this shows you is very useful information that you will find very helpful to you in many ways as you get going. So you can stop and watch that video now, but when you're done, you'll want to go back to YouTube Studio. So again, choose the icon in the upper right and choose YouTube Studio again. And you'll see the exact same Learn More button, but this time just click anywhere off of that dialog and you'll then be in the YouTube Studio screen. Choose Content from the left-hand side of this screen and then choose Live and then choose Create in the upper right-hand side of the screen. And underneath that, choose Go Live to create a stream. And when you choose that, you'll see, oops, we're not quite ready yet. We're not done with the process. We need to enable streaming on our account. So simply click Enable. And on the next dialog, you'll see that what it actually wants you to do is simply use two-factor authentication to verify that you're you. So click on Verify. That will take you to a very easy to follow two-factor authentication screen that allows you to authenticate via email or text. Simply follow this screen and fill it out. I'm not going to do so because you don't need to see my wife's phone number, etc. So the next thing we'll see is the step following your two-factor authentication. All right, once we've successfully authenticated, you'll see that you're again kind of stuck on a screen you can't get out of. Just return to youtube.com and then again go to your YouTube Studio. Again, choose Content from the left-hand side and Live, and then Create and Go Live from the top right. And this time you'll see that because you're verified, or so we believe, you can now continue with the setup process. Now you have two choices. One is to do a stream now, and the other is to do a later date or scheduled stream. And I recommend you do the later date or scheduled stream, even if you want to stream right now, because it gives you some nice options that you'll learn about a little bit later. So go ahead and choose Go on the streaming software option because we're using OBS. And now we are again ready to schedule a stream, which you can do in the upper right, and you'll get this nice scheduling dialog. So you'll just want to fill this out. Give your stream a good, descriptive, but short and not too difficult title and description. And then be sure to categorize your stream, and just by clicking on where it says people and blogs, you'll see you can choose from a drop-down list of the various subjects that are pre-built into YouTube Studio, and then fill in the date and time that you want to start your stream. Now you can do that time right now, and you'll see an option that we use that allows you to just start it when you're ready to start at whatever time you scheduled it when you use this option. Now, down at the bottom, it asks you if this content is okay for kids. And for right now, say no, but you'll learn about that option later, and some of it you'll learn on your own. And then go ahead and click on the schedule button. Whoops. We can't do the stream right now. And when you click on Finish, you'll find out why. The authentication process actually takes 24 hours or more, so you can't finish your authentication until this time elapses and YouTube has done what they do on the back end. So we will pick this process up once again in 24 or more hours. I will try to let you know how long that took for this particular account. Okay, you've got a little time to wait until the authorization is complete on the YouTube end. Hopefully it will happen in only 24 hours. One of my channels took 72 hours. That was a little annoying. So just go ahead and stop the video here. Note the time down at the bottom of the YouTube timeline and pick this up when you have your authentication completed. Okay, we have teleported forward in time, a suitable amount to what should be. Enough time has passed that our activation should have gone completely through. So I have returned with my wife's account and I am in YouTube Studio and we're ready to move forward. So I will once again on the left hand side choose Content. At the top left of the screen I will choose Live. At the top right of the screen, yes, it does keep us ping-ponging around a bit, doesn't it? I'm going to choose Create, and then we'll, underneath that, go Live. I'll once again have the same two choices that we had before, and I am once again going to go for a later date, and I'm going to go for a software stream. And there we are. Okay. Now we're not at the moment of truth yet. We're just going through exactly what we went through before we found out that we couldn't do the live stream. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the exact same settings that we had before. I won't change the settings, except I'll even leave the time exactly the same. I don't have to change it. I will say no, this is not for kids. There we go. And now the moment of truth. We'll create that. All right, you can see from the progress bar at the top, we did wait enough time and it has authorized us completely and we're ready to move on and create our first stream. Actually, it already has been created. Now we can update it. To update the stream the way that we want to, we will actually just click in by pointing over, mousing over the stream and clicking the title, and that takes us into a very important screen. We'll cover several things here. Now, first of all, if you're not using a software solution like OBS, this is where you can monitor a stream from and even run a stream from. I've never done that before. I've only used OBS with this system. So there are a couple of important things I do want to show you. One is on the left hand side here, and this is an important piece of information that you'll need. This is your stream key, and without the stream key you can't run a stream out of OBS. So to see and copy that stream key, you can click the eyeball there. It will then show you your stream key, and you'll want to keep that secret. You don't want to let other people run your stream key. You can also click copy right here, and you want to do that because we'll be pasting that into OBS in just a few minutes. Now, there are several other options, many of which are pretty self-explanatory, such as right here we've got additional settings to enable auto start. I like to enable auto start, and that's one of those things I was telling you about that you will like as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it gives you a little alert here, and you can see that for yourself, and I'll go ahead and click on that. And then I also do auto stop. Now, auto stop and auto start are important because what that means is if your stream is set up for 2:00 p.m. and you're 5 minutes late, it's no problem. It's just going to start it when it's told to start by OBS. And the same thing on the stop side. Once you finish your stream and cut your stream from OBS, it will automatically disable it on the YouTube side as well. You can enable DVR, which is enabled by default, and that means that it will be making a recording for YouTube, and that's what you want. And here there's an option for added delay. I'm not going to cover that, but you can look into that for yourself. Closed captions you can turn on list live replay. You can do that as well, and that gives you the opportunity to look at the replay before it's public. So if something happened that you didn't know about while you were recording the stream, you could take care of it. All right, and over here we have normal latency, low latency, and ultra low latency. Now, I have a dedicated 1 gig line, so I will often use ultra low latency. But low latency usually gives you a very good stream as well. And if you don't have anything special on your connection, or you have a lot of other people using it, you can just leave it on normal latency. That's just fine. Those do determine the image sizes and quality that you can use on the OBS side. You'll really be pushing it if you have normal latency, if you're trying to do a high resolution stream. So those are important things to know. All right, so having done that, and of course up here you can edit your settings as well. So if you want to change your titles and that kind of thing from what we initially set up, you certainly can. So this stream is now set up and is ready to go. So we will move on over to the OBS side. Before I do that though, I'll just show you a couple of things on the menu side. So up here you've got your back arrow that will take us back out. And this is our list of our live streams. We've only got the one right now. There is a menu that when you point to the stream title area, it drops down here, and there's a couple of important things here. One is that you can get a shareable link, and that shareable link is different than the stream key, of course, but it's still going to copy it. So I'm not going to get this right now because I've already got copied my stream key, so I don't want to lose that out of my copy buffer. Another thing is that you can delete the video that you create forever, or even just the scheduled stream that you create. You can delete it forever, and that's only if you are a premium member. So there are some things that you can only do if you're a premium member. That's one of them. I think it's well worth it to be a premium member if you are going to be doing a lot of streaming and you want to take advantage of all of the great features that YouTube Studio can offer you. All right, so those are just a couple of extra things you want to know here. And now we'll pop back over to OBS. Okay, we're heading around third base towards home. You have patiently set up your OBS. You've got your first stream channel set up on YouTube. And now we're going to go ahead and do your first stream for real. And I have to say, by the way, congratulations to my Seahawks, NFC West Division champions again just today. They just won the game with the Rams. Yeah, this is obviously 2020. Okay, let's get busy and let's finish this up. Okay, before we continue, we will once again get our stream key, because when you got that last time was quite a while ago on the clock and calendar for you. So we're just going to go back to our YouTube channel, and we will go through our regular steps of going through content, live, and actually just content and live, and then we'll click on the title, or the stream I should say, to get into the settings for our stream. And then we are going to simply copy the stream key using the copy button. And then we can go back over to OBS, and we'll go to our settings. And then on the left-hand side, you will see the stream. And literally all we want to do is get rid of whatever we put in there before for the stream. Right-click and paste that stream key in. Okay, here's our setup for this final sequence. I have an OBS screen open, and behind that I have the window that contains our YouTube stream setup, where we just copied the stream key from. When you start your stream, it is sometimes several seconds before the stream is going to show up in front of your viewers. And so what I like to do is when I start a stream, I'll put an image or music or image and music or whatever as a banner until I know that the stream has started properly. And I know that because the banner or whatever my image is shows up in the stream window in the YouTube interface. So I'm going to hit start streaming here in just a second, and then we'll go look, and when we see me pop up in the stream window, then we'll know the stream has started and we can begin our show. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and hit start streaming. And then we'll roll over to the YouTube window. And in a few seconds, with luck, if we've done everything right, the stream will appear, which it looks like it's just about to. And there's our stream. So that we know that our viewers are seeing the live stream now. Hi, everybody. This is theoretically the first stream that we have done on this channel. Okay, and when the stream is complete, and there's obviously many things that you can do during your stream and many features of OBS that you will use as you grow in your knowledge of it. When your stream is complete, you'll go ahead and hit stop streaming. And I'm going to roll over to the window. You'll see the stream is still going, but in just a moment it will stop. About the same amount of time will pass as past when the stream started in the first place. And now we know that the stream has in fact stopped. Okay, congratulations, you have done it. You have set up OBS, you have set up your YouTube channel, and you have completed your very first stream, and you're ready to move on to the next level. This is the end of the first video in our series on OBS and your Macintosh and live streaming via YouTube. Thank you for watching. If you wish to continue with the remainder of the series, which shows you how to upgrade the system that you've started with in many ways, you'll find those videos here on this channel as they become released. You'll also find links to other resources that I have found very useful in expanding my knowledge of OBS. There's a lot you can do with this entire platform of OBS and YouTube live streaming together. And you'll find that there are many terrific resources in YouTube and in other places on the internet to help you do so. I did not myself find an end-to-end video series as I intend this to be, so I hope that you will find that also really useful, even though I'm a relative newbie myself at some of these things. If you have enjoyed this video, please like this channel. It's free, it will remain free, and I intend to offer a lot of content in Happy Place Home Studio. Take care till we see you next time.